Most men think that giving everything they have will make a woman stay, but they never realize it's often the exact reason she starts to lose interest. It's not that giving is wrong. It's that giving too much too soon tells her something about you that kills the excitement. Says you've already decided she's worth everything before she's even decided if you are. Says you're sold, that you're easy to have, that there's no reason to wonder about you. And once that mystery is gone, once she feels there's nothing left to discover, her emotions start to fade quietly, and you don't even notice until it's too late. You think your presence, your constant reassurance, your endless efforts are what make her feel loved, but in reality, it's your absence that makes her feel something deeper. It's in the quiet moments when she's alone. She's sitting with the echo of your last conversation, replaying your last look, questioning whether she pushed you too far, that her feelings actually form she doesn't fall in love with. You, when you're texting her all day, or dropping everything to be there the second she calls. She falls in love in those silent spaces you leave behind, when she starts to wonder, did I mess this up? Did I lose him? That wondering, that slight fear of loss, is what awakens her emotions. And it's not about manipulation. It's about understanding human nature. We value what we fear we could lose. When you give her the space to feel your absence, you let her confront her own behavior, her own desires, and her own emotions. You don't need to beg, argue, or threaten. You just pull back calmly, without anger, and let the silence do its work. In that silence, she feels the weight of your worth. It becomes something she can't ignore. Asterisk, you've been told your whole life that the more you give, the more someone will love you back, but when it comes to women, the truth is often the opposite. The more you give without her earning it, the less she feels the impact of your presence. At first, she might enjoy the constant texts, the quick replies, the endless attention, but slowly, without even realizing it, she stops valuing any of it. It becomes a background noise she expects, not something she appreciates. And this is where most men get it wrong, thinking that giving more will reignite her interest. But the reality is that excess feels empty, while rarity feels sacred. It's the scarcity of your time, your attention, and your presence that makes them valuable. Just like anything rare in life, a diamond, a piece of art, a beautiful view after a long hike, your energy is only valuable when it's not easily accessible. When you're always there, always available, always ready to give her your world, she never feels the weight of what it means to actually have you. But when you step back, when you live your life and stop flooding her with effort, she feels it instantly. She starts to notice that you're not like everyone else who drops everything for her attention. And that subtle difference creates a powerful shift in how she sees you. You're not playing games, you're not pretending to be busy just to get a reaction. You're actually busy living. It's moving forward, becoming better. And that creates an energy around you that she can sense. She starts to realize your presence is a privilege, not a right. It's not about withholding to punish her. It's about preserving your energy so that when you do give, it means something. And that is how you become the man who is valued, respected, and remembered simply because you understand that less, when it is real and intentional, will always be more. Asterisk, there's something different about a man who is calm, steady, and unshakable, and it's something women feel on a level they often can't even explain. Most men react immediately to every mood shift, every test, every dry text, every pullback, and every emotional storm a woman throws their way, thinking that reacting will prove how much they care. But what actually happens is that the man shows he is easily controlled by her emotions, that her inconsistency has the power to throw him off his center, that her approval determines his peace. And once she feels that, something inside her starts to turn off. Because a woman cannot truly respect a man whose emotional state is controlled by her. What shakes her to her core is when she pulls back, when she goes cold, when she throws a test to see what you will do, and you simply remain calm, unaffected, steady in your purpose and in your life. You don't chase, you don't argue, you don't over-explain yourself to seek validation or clarity. You simply allow her to feel your calm presence and your calm absence without force. At that silence, she starts to wonder why you are not reacting, why you are not falling apart, why you are not begging to fix things, and it pulls her curiosity towards you in a way nothing else can. She starts to question, does he even need me? Why isn't he chasing me like everyone else? This is not about playing games or trying to manipulate her feelings. It's about living in a way that your inner peace is non-negotiable. About showing her that while you care, you do not need her to validate your worth or to regulate your emotional world. A man who is unbothered by chaos is the man who becomes magnetic, because deep down, every woman feels safest with a man who cannot be moved by her storms. Asterisk, there comes a point where a woman will test you, whether intentionally or unconsciously, to see what you will tolerate, to see how deeply you value yourself, to see if you are a man of boundaries or a man who will fold at the slightest hint of losing her. Most men, when a woman disrespects them, lies to them, or pulls away, think the solution is to try harder, to prove their loyalty, to give even more love so she will finally see how much they care. But what this actually does is teach her that your love is unconditional in the worst way, that no matter how she treats you, you will remain there, giving, forgiving, accepting, and allowing her to cross lines without consequence. She will never truly respect you if you let your fear of losing her override your respect for yourself. You think that by giving more after she messes up, she will realize your worth, but in reality, it only shows her that you do not value yourself enough to hold her accountable for her actions. She doesn't learn to question herself because you never give her the space to feel the loss of your energy. The shift happens when you finally stop over-explaining, when you stop trying to fix everything, when you simply step back with calmness, letting your silence teach her what your words could not. You let her sit with the discomfort of her choices without your energy to soothe her guilt or your presence to reassure her. You do not pull back to punish her, but to protect your peace. And it is in that space where she is left alone with her actions that she begins to feel what it means to lose you. She starts questioning her behavior instead of questioning your worth. And in that silence, she begins to realize that if she wants your presence, your trust, and your energy, it must be earned, not taken for granted. Asterisk, there's a reason she will. Forget the men who chased her, the men who begged for her attention, the men who tried to fix her, but will always remember the man who walked away calmly without looking back. It's not because he didn't care about her, because he cared about himself more, and that is something a woman can never unsee when she feels it. A woman might be surrounded by men willing to do anything to keep her, but the man who chooses himself over the comfort of begging for her is the one who leaves a mark on her soul. When you stop trying to prove yourself and allow your absence to speak, you show her that your love is not something to be taken lightly. You show her that your time, your energy, and your presence are valuable, and that you will not remain where you are, not respected, valued, or cherished. She may not understand it immediately, but the silence you leave behind will echo in her mind long after you are gone, reminding her of the man who refused to stay in a place that required him to betray his self-respect. It's easy to forget. A man who was always there, who never questioned her actions, who accepted less than he deserved. But it is impossible to forget the man who chose to walk away when he was not valued. Not because he wanted to hurt her, but because he refused to hurt himself by staying. That kind of man becomes a mirror, showing her what it feels like to lose something real, something solid, something grounded. It challenges her to reflect on her own behavior and to see that if she wants a man like that in her life, it requires her to step up and match the energy he brings. She will remember the man who did not need her to feel whole, because that man is rare, and rarity is unforgettable.